New Orleans Saints and the Tampa Bay Bucks. This is universally 2.5 now in favor of the Bucks at home over the Saints. Saints getting money in this one, Steven. 42.5 is the total. I'm going to go against the line move here. And when this dipped all the way down to 2, I took the Bucks at 2. It's kind of another one of those deals. It's a different handicap at 2 than it is at 3. So I can understand if someone wants to make the case for the Saints at 3 as opposed to me making the case for the Bucks at 2. But let's go ahead and get into the game as it sits right now. It's 2.5 in favor of the Bucks at home over the Saints.
I'm right there with you, man. I bet the Bucks under 3 here as well. And thank you for all the people that want to continue to bet the Saints. Now, full disclosure, I bet the Saints to cover 4.5 as dogs last week, and it blew up in my face. I'm done. I'm out on this team. I'm out on Derek Carr. And you two, maybe more than anybody I've heard all season, have been saying the Bucks are better than what people think. You were on the division futures early, so hat tip to both of you for that. I'm late on the bandwagon here, but I think under 3 is just fine. Now, if you look at the advanced metrics of these two offenses, they're pretty close. They just do it in different ways. Over the past 5 weeks in particular, the Bucks are number 9 by EPA. The Saints are number 19, but on success rate, it's the Saints who are number 14 and the Bucks who are number 21. So the Bucks are more explosive, but less consistent, whereas the Saints are more consistent, but less explosive. And even if you look at PFF grades and advanced QB numbers, believe it or not, Carr and Baker are pretty close over the course of the season. But to me, this is just my opinion. I think the Saints have built this resume on the easiest schedule in the NFL, and it should be looked at as very disappointing that this is all they are, because their 7 wins this year are against the Titans, the Panthers twice, the Patriots, Colts, Bears with Bajan at quarterback, and the Giants. And this is all they have to show for it. It's pathetic. And the Bucks meanwhile are on the come up here. They are ascending and getting hot at the right time, and Baker's playing his best football of the season. And we know that Bowles wants to establish the run until Armageddon. And they've had a couple of good matchups the past couple of weeks that have allowed them to do that. We'll see if they can do it against the Saints, because since the bye week, the Saints are 10th in rushing success rate defense, but they're susceptible to big plays. They're 25th in rush EPA defense. So I think there's enough here to like the Bucks to sell high, not sell high, but just dismiss what the Saints have put on paper this year with an easy schedule and take the team that has played better against better competition this year in the Bucks.
Adam, it could have been worse. The scoreboard's a little wonky, but nice little win last week betting against this Saints team with the Rams. I did it again this week. I will continue to do it. This Saints team is a fraud. I've been screaming this from a mountaintop since the beginning of the friggin' season, that there's nobody on that team that can do anything with the current way that the offense is being called and Carr's limitations. And you know as well as anyone, because you covered the Raiders here in town and stuff, like the thing about Carr's, yeah, he's still check down Charlie, which is like the reason everyone hated him for the Raiders, but he's still check down Charlie for the Saints. But then when he decides to throw the ball down the field, he throws it to the other team. Like, he makes the stupidest decisions when he actually does try to push the ball down the field and do anything from an actual, let's gain chunk yardage standpoint and all that. And let's just say the gross part out loud. Baker Mayfield in the year of our Lord 2023 is a top 12 quarterback in the NFL, given the state of the quarterback position in the NFL right now. It is what it is. Angry tweet me if you want to. He's a top 12 quarterback in the NFL. He's played like it all season long. It would not surprise me, just like I said last week, if the Bucks win this at margin.
So I'm going to pass on this game, but the only reason that I'm going to pass on this game is I'm deep enough in already with Tampa at plus 500 to win the division. We talked about this, maybe 5-6 weeks ago, when I was saying when this thing was turning into a morass of mediocrity, that Tampa was the right way to go here. They have the inside track at this point. You guys have the handicap right on this from my perspective. I'll talk about Baker Mayfield in particular, because that's the biggest reason I have been saying for weeks that Tampa's going to be okay. This year, EPA per play, here are the quarterbacks that Baker Mayfield has been better than throughout the season. He has been better than Trevor Lawrence. He has been better than CJ Stroud. He has been better than Lamar Jackson, Geno Smith, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. He has been the same as Patrick Mahomes. I'm not saying it's all because of him, but it's not as though Baker Mayfield has had a lot of help from his play calling, right? We talked for half the season about the fact that Tampa was in love with first and second down runs that were consistently putting Baker Mayfield in third and long and having to make things happen. Now he's had Mike Evans. Now he's had Chris Godwin. That's a great receiving duo that, if we want to talk about the Bryce Young discussion, you would certainly love to have those two guys and put them in Carolina. But when it comes to this Tampa Bay team, I don't know that they are necessarily a team that I think can go deep in the playoffs. But when you look at this particular offense against what they're probably going to get in round one, if things play out the way we think they are, in a Dallas defense that is struggling and a Philly team that is just weird overall, I don't think that they're a team that I would be against taking the points with in the first round of the playoffs.
I can tell you this, if you go to the Lions.com, there's a button right in the center. We talk about it all the time, the prop finder. Baker's passing touchdowns at 1.5, you're getting plus 125 on the over for him to throw 2 touchdown passes in this game. If my handicap plays out and I like the Bucs and I think that the Bucs could win this thing at margin, well, then obviously I would think that Baker's going to have a good game throwing the ball. I think I might do a little sprinkle there on the over 1.5 as well at the nice plus money, right? It'd be different if this was like I'm laying juice or something, but like nice little plus money on that.
7 of his last 9 games with 2+ passing touchdowns.
Yeah, so you're getting plus money in that one. Seems like a good EV play right there.